The Citizen Report is a production of New Shannon Media. All content protected under copyright.
And welcome to the Citizen Report. I'm Jonathan Shannon, and thank you for joining me tonight. As always, this newscast is Real In-Depth American. Thank you so much for joining me. My co-host David Heller is off tonight. I have some breaking news information right now to pass along to you. Some of this is already been out there for some time, but I want to put it here on record for my broadcast here on the Citizen Report. There's a couple things here I'm going to share with you. It's all going to be sound bites. You're not going to see it, but you're going to hear it. What I'm going to first play is from, this is from Right Side Broadcasting Network. This is the Arizona State Legislature. They are actually, I believe, I am not sure, but it's possible it's actually still in progress. But several hours ago, some 7 hours ago, this is about, we're coming up on 8 o'clock Eastern here. Right now, and as I'm going on taping this, but I want to get this out to you right away. This is an exchange between someone in this hearing in the Arizona State Legislature. I don't know who this individual is for certainty. I do know that the other individual on the other end of this, there in this hearing, is Rudy Giuliani. Now, we have been told that this watermark stuff, I'm just going to put this out there right now. We've been told that the watermark stuff is conspiracy theory, it's debunked, it's garbage. What you're fixing to hear, now I don't know for sure, whether if it's ink, whether if it's a watermark, it doesn't really matter. The point is there is forensic stuff on at least some of the ballots that are being discussed in this exchange. This is bombshell information. This confirms that indeed something is going on here to save this election from being stolen. And I want you to listen and use your own discernment for what is being said here. This was at approximately 12:26 p.m. Eastern Time today. This is courtesy, again, of Right Side Broadcasting Network and via YouTube. And I want to play this for you. It's not real long, but I want to play this exchange, this part of the exchange with you right now. So without further ado, I'm going to start playing this, and I want you to listen carefully to what's being said here. Okay? So here we go. And I want you to listen because, again, we're having all these elections where they're alleging voter fraud, and the mainstream media is trying to get out there saying, oh, Trump is just a conspiracy theorist, he's just denying reality. This is just another sign that indeed this election was stolen, and that indeed Trump has every right to stand up right now and defend this election process, because it's not just about Trump. Yes, we want Trump to get reelected, of course, but at the same time, at the exact same time, it is much bigger than Trump. It is also about saving this republic, because these Democrats are going to destroy it if they get into power this time. They didn't think that they never thought Hillary Clinton would lose. And they're not about to ever let us, the American people, take back the power from the deep state ever again if they got back into power. That's the Democrats in the deep state. Without further ado, I'm going to play this soundbite and listen very, very carefully.
There's an available scientific tool that would tell you, I mean, did Biden get 35,000 phony votes?
That's correct.
And it's not being utilized, as far as you know, by the state of Arizona.
Pima County, I believe the total vote total was less than a million in Pima County. So it would be possible and feasible to do a full audit, a ballot audit. And I also was informed that your state, through the Counterterrorism Information Center and the DPS here in Arizona, do have the capability to analyze and validate ballots consistency. So if there were mass-produced ballots in Maricopa County that were stuffed, your DPS, I've been informed, has the capability to analyze those ballots for paper consistency and ink consistency. So if there were mass-produced ballots, you could determine that on your own.
Excuse me, Colonel Alder. So I think what you're saying, and I'm going to repeat this back to you, these might be pre-printed ballots to simply move through the system. Is that what you're suggesting?
There are indications. We have affidavits from Pennsylvania that there were ballots that were pre-positioned in a bobtail trailer, a tractor trailer truck, okay. And that these ballots were, the thought was that this was a cache that they could go and grab the amount of ballots they needed and take them to the specific tabulation centers. That's an affidavit that's from our Pennsylvania work.
Colonel, so repeat one more time the piece of information that I think people were shocked about, because it is hard to believe. Did you say that a Pima County official said that they didn't validate any of the mail-in votes?
That was Maricopa.
Maricopa?
They didn't validate the signature. They didn't validate the signatures on the mail-in ballots.
And that's 1.9 million?
Correct.
And do we know who that is?
I would have to get the video.
Or could you get it for us?
Yes, sir.
No, you have to do it right now, but before the end of the hearing?
All right, let me pause it right there. That's all I'm going to play of this. I haven't listened to hardly. This is literally some of what I just heard. I played part of this before, but to the point that I stopped it just now, I didn't even hear that part. I don't think I did. Where 1.9, or I think it was 1.9 million votes. Folks, this is all coming out right now. It is all hitting the fan, if you will. These deep staters have done, they went all out to steal this election. They almost got away with it. And now, thank God that this information is coming out right now. Because let me tell you something, this country is on the verge of going down into the stupor. It's on the verge of going into the abyss. If this Joe Biden, whatever, ever got in, because this will be the third term of the Obama administration, and this time they will do things to make sure we never have power again. They'll admit Puerto Rico, DC estates, things that the founding fathers never intended to happen with, like DC, because DC is supposed to be a neutral ground. That's why it's a federal federal capital district. It's not a state, because it's supposed to be it's supposed to be a collective of all the states. It's where all the people elected from the states gather to administer governance on the federal level. And what you just heard, let me reiterate, they are saying that there are ways. Now, I'm not saying that it's a watermark. It could be other things, okay? Ink, paper, consistency, whatever. The point is, there are ways, this individual believes that there are ways to vet these ballots to see if they're legitimate or not. This is a huge bombshell. And I guarantee you the mainstream media will not dare cover this, because it will completely blow a hole in their attempt to mark us all as conspiracy theorists. It's absolutely ridiculous. Now, shifting gears here. And I'm trying to keep this video short because I'm trying to get this broadcast out as soon as possible. But I want to also get this in. This is from WVW Broadcast Network, online at worldviewweekend.com. Again, worldviewweekend.com. Now, technically, we're not, the video's under copyright. We're not supposed to duplicate it. I'm only going to play certain sound bites of this. I'm going to play a portion of the interview from Lieutenant General McInerney. He served, and I pulled this up on YouTube, or I should say Wikipedia. His years of service, he's a 3-star lieutenant general who served from the year 1959 to 1994. He was born March 15, 1937 in Javier de Grace, Maryland. Now, this individual, along with Mary Fanning, according to this broadcast, that's her name, he is saying these people trying to steal this election are committing treason. I agree. They are. They're trying to subvert the American people right now. I want you to listen to this. Again, I'm trying to keep this short, so I'm going to go right to this right now. Let's play this. this portion, and we'll take it from there, because then I've got something from this same broadcast about General Flynn.
And General, I received 3 phone calls from 3 different...
This is, by the way, the individual you're hearing right now is the host of this show, Brandon Howes. I highly recommend you go check him out. Again, this is on worldviewweekend.com, okay? I apologize for interrupting. I just wanted to point that out. Let me keep playing this.
People tied to the intelligence arena a couple weeks ago trying to tell me that I was going to be embarrassing myself if I didn't quit talking about this, that it was all conspiracy and fake. And it's now being revealed that those, I guess, were calls to try to get me to stop using our network, our platform, to inform the American people, because now we just are starting to figure out what a lot of these words like Kraken and other things mean, and it is all coming out that there are those inside the intelligence arena that were trying to shut this down. Now I think there's some inside the intelligence arena that are trying now to take the story and control it, are they not?
Yes, and they are guilty of treason.
Mary, would you care to comment? Mary, you've been quiet. I got to get you in here because you and Alan Jones broke this in December 2015, and wow, you guys deserve some kind of huge literary and research award. But please get in on what you've heard tonight.
We have amazing leaders in this country, and there are none better than General McInerney and General Mike Flynn. And I will tell you that bad actors, both foreign and domestic, use this man-in-the-middle proxies to cover their tracks. There was an attempt not just to steal the election, but to steal America. The Founding Fathers may not have known about cyber warfare, but they certainly recognized tyranny when they saw it. President Trump cannot leave office when we have China and Iran having access to our elections. We cannot let them steal America through their illegal acts of treason and acts of war against this country.
Act of war, and I think that's exactly what it is. And we've got Iran, China, Russia involved in this.
Russia.
Yep. General, we've now got Russia making threats about missiles. We've got them talking about ramming ships. We've got Iran out there talking about retaliation. We see their father of their nuclear program has now been taken out in the last 24 hours or so. We see that Iran is bragging about putting missile launchers on their cargo ships. What does all this mean?
Well, it means a great deal of instability if we let the U.S. government be seized by people that are committing treason and cheating. They knew exactly what they were doing. Look, does everybody think that the pattern for victory for Democrats in the future is no major press conferences with any hard questions? The largest rally he had was 14 people and 14 cars honking horns and staying in the basement. Is that the model for a successful victory for the President of the United States? No, but he knew something. All those people knew that the number was going to come out. People in betting in Las Vegas. There's a great article about that, and the people in the casinos ought to look at those winners because they had inside information, and they are guilty of treason because they didn't tell the proper authorities. Anybody that was complicit, Fox News, in my opinion, some of those people are guilty of treason, whether it's the president, whoever it is, because they flipped and they knew what they were doing, and they made those early announcements.
Fox News president.
And so anybody involved with this is complicit in it. If they didn't tell and alert the President of the United States and their proper officials.
Do you believe this goes all the way? Do you believe this goes all the way back up to Nancy Pelosi, to Adam Schiff, to Barack Obama, to Joe Biden?
Yes, it had to. It had to. The way they act, the way they did things, everything they've done, the Russian hoax. Now we've got to know if John Durham, what is the status of John Durham and the Attorney General?
Bill, yeah.
What is the status of their work? What have they done?
General McInerney, before we run out of time, we're going to go about 10 minutes over.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stop it there. I could just keep playing this indefinitely. I mean, this is absolutely bombshell. The general essence of what Lieutenant General McInerney is saying is that these individuals that try to steal this election, they didn't just try to steal this election. And of course, the act itself of trying to steal our election is enough to say it. These people that try to steal a Trump victory from the American people, they are guilty, ladies and gentlemen, of treason. I'm not just throwing that word around, and I'm sure he's not either. He is saying they are committing treason right now. And I don't know what else I need to say. There are people out there that just don't seem to get it. How much is at stake in this country right now? And this is what we're dealing with, ladies and gentlemen. Now, before I segue to a portion of what General Flynn was saying in this same broadcast earlier on, I want to also play this. I think I've covered this on my podcast before, but I want to play it again. This is what Joe Biden said before the election. He basically let it slip. He said he thought that they put together the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history. In the history of American politics. And I want to play this for you right here, right now, because I think it's important to hone this in again. He thought he was getting away with it, ladies and gentlemen. He might have been, I don't know if he was out of it. I don't know if he realized what he was really saying, but I do believe that he was absolutely cognizant in what he was saying to be true. Let me play this for you. Let me make sure the sound is working appropriately. This is absolutely outrageous. How this is not the lead story everywhere, every night, until this voter fraud is fully dealt with. But of course, the mainstream media is fully in on this. This is why the mainstream media, why Trump says that they're the enemy of the people, because they are. He's not just saying it; they are. They're in on this. Let me play this part from Joe Biden a while back.
Situation where we have put together. And you guys did it for our the President Obama's administration before this. We have put together, I think, the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics. Situation where we have...
Let me play this for you one more time. I think he did. Now, I'm going to let you interpret this for yourself, because this is just a soundbite. We don't hear the full thing here. But my point is that it sure sounds like, to me personally, just at face value, that he's also saying that this took place with the Obama administration. Yeah. So let me play this for you and let you hear it one more time.
Situation where we have put together, and you guys did it for our the President Obama's administration before this. We have put together, I think, the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics.
Wow. Okay, so that was on Twitter, at D_Alex_Connect. Hope it's able to stay up, that's all I'm going to say. Okay, let me go to this before I wrap up. I'm trying to keep this video somewhat short because I'm trying to get this broadcast out as soon as possible. All right. 5 minutes 17. I wrote down the timestamp here where I'm going to pick it up. Okay, this is Lieutenant General Michael Flynn breaking his silence on Worldview Weekend on the Worldview Weekend television.
Top of the list, because I want people to know that I'm not going to be afraid of these people that are threatening our country and our way of life. And so I say all that, and on one hand, and the other hand, as I just described, we have clear paths to victory for this president. And frankly, he's going to win Pennsylvania. He's going to win Arizona. He's going to win Georgia. He's going to win Nevada. He's going to win Michigan. And the other one that he's probably going to pull in is Wisconsin too, because there's a discrepancy in Wisconsin of 130,000 fraudulent ballots that they just found, they just discovered. So there's a lot of things happening, and it's all, to me, it's all positive. I was asked today on a scale of 1 to 10 who will be the next president, and I said 10, it'll be Donald Trump. It'll be President Trump. There's no doubt in my mind. There's no doubt in my mind that he won this election hands
That's
down,
right.
in a landslide, probably somewhere between 350 and 400 electoral college votes. What we have seen is over, and I know this, I mean, over the last probably 2 decades, and probably longer, I could, give you a little bit of a history lesson in that, but I won't. But over the last couple of decades, what we have seen is a complete shift in how fast I believe that Communist China, in their long-term plan, decided that to sort of move up their plans to become the global superpower, sole global superpower on the planet. And their sort of plan was by about the middle of this century that we're in right now. And I believe during the last 2016 election, when they didn't get the candidate that they needed and the kind of ideology that they saw America moving towards, they were not going to allow 2020 to happen. And so now what we have is this theft with mail-in ballots, the theft with this software, Smartmatic software, and these Dominion systems. I mean, these are systems that are not owned by this country. They're not owned by this country. They're owned by other. They were introduced into this country. I mean, how can we say, as the United States of America, how can we say that we accept a system that is not made in this country, and not even, and in many cases the ballots aren't even tallied in this country? How can we say that here in this country that we accept that? So,
okay, I'm going to go ahead and stop there because I need to wrap up the Citizen Report. But I do remember that in this interview as well, General Flynn, and it might have been before this point, where General Flynn basically said that what happened to him cannot ever happen again. And that the American people will not accept Joe Biden as the winner. Okay, now I don't have the time to play more because I'm trying to keep this video short, this broadcast short. But I want to thank you for watching the Citizen Report, and I want to let you know all this information is coming forward right now, and you need to be on your toes, because I do believe the deep state's they're going to try very, very hard to change this narrative once it all starts hitting the mainstream. So, but we are going to win this. But every American needs to stop being on the sidelines. You need to get active. You need to be vocal right now. What I mean by that, like on Facebook, on social media, wherever you're at, if you prefer Facebook over Twitter like I do, that's fine. I'm just saying, wherever you normally speak, you need to try to get truth out there as best as you can about this election. Because let me tell you something, they are real enemies of this republic, and they're trying very hard to steal this election. I don't think it's going to win because it's all coming out right now, and I don't think Trump is going to let this all prevail. But the Trump and the Patriots, they're allowing the people to see how flagrant this fraud is in this voting process. And it didn't just start this year. It went back many, 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 many years. So on that note, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the Citizen Report, and thank you for watching the Citizen Report. Check out my website, thecitizenreport.weebly.com. Check out my social media profiles, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Parler as well. My co-host David Heller is at least on Facebook. I know that. He's probably still on Twitter, but my point is, check us both out and get in touch with us so you can stay connected with what's going on. So on that note, God bless each and every one of you, and I'll see you right back here again next time. Have a good night.